Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the 2017 Gashapon Shin Godzilla Awakening form. Now, this form of Godzilla comes from the 2016 film Shin Godzilla, and I've basically talked about it before in the past, so I'm not going to go into too much detail at all, so yeah. And out of this set, rather it be Kamada-kun or Shinagawa-kun or the first form, this is probably my least favorite in terms of paint, but we'll talk about why. So, the paint is very basic. It's mostly black, which isn't a problem, The eyes, if my camera can focus, the eyes are white with no pupils, but it is understandable because the eyes are very small. We have purple inside the mouth, as well as the chest and gills right here on the neck. The dorsal plates are actually a transparent purple, which is actually a very nice touch. I actually really do like that. We have purple on top of the tail, however, the purple is supposed to be like on the top here, but for some reason it just kind of bleeds onto the tail and it doesn't really look all that great. So, yeah. And that continues on. And the tip of the tail is a transparent purple as well, which looks nice. Also, the toe claws are painted a kind of a greenish color, greenish brownish color, kind of a whitish color, but yeah. That's pretty much it for the paint on this figure. Very lackluster. I think the paint in the tail looks pretty bad, but the paint on the rest of the figure still looks alright. So the paint, even though it's my least favorite part of the figure, I'd still say it gets a pass and a half, but that's just me. Anyway, that's it for the paint. Now for the articulation. With all these Gashapon figures, they usually, come disassembled and you have to assemble them. This one is a little more advanced. So when you do get this figure, it's actually more disassembled than the others because basically the jaw comes off, the top of the torso comes off, the legs come off, the tail, and yeah, so you get it in all these different parts. And something to point out, the jaw piece here, this is supposed to be like, I'm just going to show you really quickly. This is supposed to recreate the scene from Shin Godzilla where he shoots his atomic breath for the first time. And it looks cool, but something that's worth pointing out is that this figure actually came with two jaw pieces, the split jaw and the normal bottom jaw piece. The only problem is I kind of lost it, so I can't really show that off, but yeah. This is the only piece I have left, and I like it. I like it a lot, so yeah. Anyway, to assemble the figure, you just need to attach the body like so. Take this leg and plug it into here. Take the other leg, plug it into here. And just like with all the other Godzilla figures in this line, he can stand without his tail. Now you'd want to just attach the tail here, and then there you go. That's how you assemble Shin Godzilla's Awakening form. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. Again, I guess, being able to take your figure apart, I guess, kind of counts as articulation. I guess, but it's a lot more advanced than any of the other Gashapon figures I reviewed on the channel, so I like it. It gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpt on this figure is pretty good. It's what you would expect from Shin Godzilla. Yeah, everything is here that you would expect from Shin Godzilla. Nothing too noteworthy to point out other than just it's Shin Godzilla. So I'd say that the sculpt gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure is not terrible, but not great either. So starting off with the head, if my camera can focus. The head is detailed alright. The detailing on the neck looks okay as well. The arms look not all that great, however, the chest here looks good as well. And we have nice detailing throughout the legs and rest of the torso, and I like that. The feet are also detailed very nicely. And the tail even looks great as well. And the creases and whatnot continue on throughout the tail. And the tip is detailed alright. Again, it doesn't really do a good job of showing off the face that's supposed to be on the tip of the tail, but still looks nice. And last but not least, the dorsal plates are detailed decently as well. And that about does it for the detailing. Not terrible, but this is a small figure, so it can be, forgiven. Actually, the amount of detail on this figure is actually pretty good for how small it is, but yeah. It's still not great compared to other figures, but it still looks good, so I'd say the detailing gets a pass. And at the end of the day, should you get this figure, I'd say yes, it wouldn't hurt if you bought this, but there are better Shin Godzilla figures out there, so yeah, if you don't have any of those and you want something, if you want like an awakening form of Shin Godzilla that's actually good and you want it cheap, I'd suggest this. And if you have a lot of money, then I guess you could get the SH Monster Arts Awakening Shin. Don't get the NECA version because the NECA version actually looks awful, but yeah. So don't rush to get this figure. If you want it, then it wouldn't hurt you if you bought it. And I believe you can get this figure for a fairly cheap price, so again, if you want, go for it, but yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big this guy is, here he is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Alright, now that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zek out.